So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. So whatever is comfortable for you. So that could be feet down in the cross-legged position. And so, the other thing too is if you're not very well and you need to lie down or you can't sit fully in the full Vajra posture, which is each foot over the opposite thigh, you have your legs down. Um, you just visualize as best you can being in that full Vajra posture. Apparently, there's something about being in that posture that's supposed to be helpful. I'm not sure. Anyway, so now just feel the weight of the soles of the feet on the ground and maybe the weight of your legs on your feet and the palms of your hands in your lap and your sits bones on your seat. Maybe you have something tucked underneath your coccyx. Just helps to align the spine, particularly if you've got a tight lower back as well, because we have a tendency just to round that area. So if your coccyx is slightly raised, it just kind of tilts you, angles you forward a little bit, so you're not sort of sinking back. And then see if you can align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine now is a beautiful string of pearls of light. It stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And put some space in between your vertebrae and just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. And just relaxing your face. Soften your face, soften the back of your head and your shoulders and shoulder blades and your throat and chest and belly and all of your limbs. And then just bring your awareness to the sensations of the breath. And just notice the inhale and the exhale. And then just check any sounds in your environment. So I'm finding I'm really liking these AirPods Pro because they're kind of cutting out any external sound. So it enables me to focus. And just notice what's going on in your mind this evening. So just allowing the thoughts to arise and abide. And then maybe just try not to follow all the kind of stories, the made up thoughts, the made up situations. And bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, the strangers, the ones you don't like so much, remembering all these people, no matter how you feel about them at any particular point in time, they're all equal. They're all the same as each other in that they want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, just like you and me. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So I just wanted to mention Lou again. Lou, you may not know, but we did a Chenrezig meditation for you this morning, and then we chanted some Medicine Buddha mantra at the end. So I hope you received it. Anyway. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily be experiencing suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, we regret from the depths of our heart having harmed others with our body and our speech, broken our vows, because we don't want any suffering. We don't want future suffering. And we also regret any our delusions, anger, attachment, all of this. This is the cause of why we harm others. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And there's two sections here, one on refuge, one on developing compassion. So who are we taking refuge in? We take refuge in Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And so he's there made of this blissful, radiant white light with a beautiful face and smiling and being very accepting just of you, exactly how you are turning up this evening. And he has his arms crossed, the left hand closest to the heart, the right hand crossed on top, the left is holding a bell, and this represents wisdom. The right holds a vajra, and this represents compassion. And their being crossed like that represents enlightenment. And we just say a little refuge prayer here. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this idea about developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So you make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva, you imagine, very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakta Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Seta A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seka a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam triyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajra sattva samaya manupalaya vajra sattva dina patita Drita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Setra A Hum Pe Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Setra A Hum Pe Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorecto meboa, sabosidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitam me, sitam triyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva ah hum. Hey, so be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next, the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip, the harsh speech, the lying, all the inappropriate speech, sort of gossiping about other people, getting other people to agree with you, being divisive with your speech. All of this instantly purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sitam me, sitam triyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorekta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorecta meboa, sawasidi mebiata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Ambhadrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mebiyata sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajra me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe ambadra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sabosidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva ah hum. Eh. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And then the mind, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you just imagine that all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and depression, resentment, jealousy, all of this aversion instantly dispelled as instantaneously as going into a room and turning on a light. So this is the light from Vajrasattva's heart and just dispels all of that. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam triyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum. Eh. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and this fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar kind of coming down and pushing out all the negativity of the body from the lower orifices, and then the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and blasting all the delusions. And this happens instantaneously, all at the same time. And this way, you're eradicating, even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sabosidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Seta A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Seta A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Seta A Hum. Hey. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth, the final step in the purification process. It's really important because, nothing happens without making a decision. So we have to just decide, I want to refrain from harming. Make it like an aspiration. Salamasa Rinpoche used to talk about everything being on the tip of the wishes, he would say. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts coming along. I know there's many of you here are on the East Coast, excuse me, which is really late. So much appreciation for your own efforts. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. If you do the practice tomorrow or Monday. No, wait, this is Friday, right? Yeah, Monday. And maybe just do a few Vajrasattva mantras over the weekend. You can kind of go through the four the 4 stages very quickly. And make it easy for yourself, make it doable. Don't make it this big burden. But every day think of something that you're going to work on to try and reduce the amount of harm to yourself and others. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So he would say like this: in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, you place your mind there, even if it's just the word. So you can imagine all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. That's what they mean by that. They're not empty, empty. They just don't exist the way we think they do. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. The Sun, the Dharma King, the noble Dharma, supreme illuminator of the world, the Dharma Lord, the sovereign of the Dharma, the teacher of the path to excellence, accomplishing all goals, fulfilling aims, completely free from wants of any kind, bereft of thought, a non-depleting source, the Dharma source supreme beyond decay, enriched by merit, merit's gathering, unique great wisdom, wisdom rich, aware of what exists and what does not, while gathering the twofold gathering. Okay. Thank you so much for hosting, Shayla and Lou. I don't know who else was, but anyway, lots of love. Good night. And I'll see you all on Monday. Thank you so much.